glory of the great God is risen for me. Rise and shine as light in the world. Let Christ in the light. Bless the one with good and great works in the name of Christ. Make us strong, Lord. Take us higher unto greater heights. And like our coast, east, west, north, south, open the heavens. Oh, my God, the great possessor of heaven and earth. Take us in all that we do. Our Lord of all grace.
You may please be seated.
Good evening. We want to thank God that you are all to join us to mark another prayer conference. I have a welcome address in the manual that you have in your hands. But I'd just like to deviate a little bit from there and tell you a little bit about this prayer conference. Someone wrote with me yesterday to church and was asking me a few questions, and it dawned on me that not everybody has an understanding of how this came to be. In I think it was 1998 or thereabout, I was posted as the pastor in charge of area to House of His Glory. Years after that, we thought it necessary to hold a prayer school. And we Gethsemane Prayer Ministry then to organize a prayer school. And one thing led to the other. From a prayer school, we're led to start a prayer conference. I'm not sure of if I go into the books, I would know the exact date. But one of my assistants then, who was in charge of prayer, was given the task of organizing it. And she had attended a prayer conference in Port Harcourt and met a few people that I asked her to invite for the prayer conference. And that was the beginning. And God led us to fix a date, which was quite fortuitous in the sense that it was a day that fell. We didn't know. Sometimes you act without knowing. It was a day that fell on the 7th week of every year. And the first time we did it, it was 7th week. And incidentally, that week was free of all programs in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. The next year we fixed it, it was free. And the third year we fixed it, it was free. And we then realized that those dates fell on the 7th week. And then we began to understand, when we clearly knew the meaning of the scriptures are concerned, that was not an accident. And year in, year out, God introduced us to people that He used to bring God the deliverance that people needed. In those days at the House of His Glory, God did quite a lot of things. Several people received the story of And I will share it, one particular incident. One of our associate ministers in one particular edition, he's been believing God. There were things that were happening in his home. It was like he was being held back. And he had gone home to go and sleep, hoping that he would return to church for the vigil. And then somehow he overslept. But thank God for the mercies of God. As we often say, something woke him up. But of course, it was not something. It was, he woke up suddenly with a start, and then he woke his wife and family, and then he drove to church. He had a place where he parks, but by the time he got there, the church was full. We had a tent outside, and then the man of God was ministering, and he released a prophetic word. Whoever is holding their breakthroughs and whatever, that God would terminate it that night. And then the next morning he had news about somebody. Now, I'm not saying that it's a human being that is holding your breakthrough, but let's not focus on human. But he had the news. Something happened in his family, and then from that day his story changed. Part of his story was the fact that I remember he went to the U.S. Embassy. He was trying to get out to go start a church somewhere. And the first time he went to the U.S. Embassy told him, well, you don't have travel history. So go and have a travel history and come back. And then he said,